Hi, I'm Sarah Ingus, and today we're going to look over SLAPP lawsuit methods. So one of the least known concepts that reduces democracy and increases inequality in America is the use of SLAPP lawsuit methods by corporations. So SLAPP stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. And what happens with these large companies is that in order to increase the influence and persuasion a corporation or a large company has over the American public, they need to first establish a solid image for themselves. In order to do that, they need to reduce the amount of critics that speak against their company and the actions their company is taking. So they do this to establish trust between them and their consumers so that the consumers buy more of their product and invest in their company. So, to silence the critics, these large companies use SLAPP lawsuit method. The SLAPP lawsuits are a dirty type of strategy that wealthy companies use to mute their critics by making them pay a lot of money and waste a lot of time. So let's take a further look at this. So a lot of these big corporations use the SLAPP lawsuit method to censor, intimidate, and silence critics who are making legitimate complaints in the public's best interest. This reduces the critic's voice and creates an uninformed populace. If we, the people, only hear one specific side, how are we supposed to make well-informed decisions in our government? These wealthy corporations remove the voice of the public by overwhelming them with the cost of a legal defense until they are forced to abandon their opposition. Large companies use the SLAPP lawsuits because while they don't intend to win, they do drain the time, energy, and money from critics so that they can't continue to fight. By bullying critics into retreating from their opposition, Americans no longer speak up about issues in their country, causing more decisions to be made in favor of wealthy businesses, because that's the only side that we actually hear. Not only are the critics who are being sued drained from this method, but it also causes many other people's voices to be repressed out of fear of being sued themselves. These SLAPP lawsuits are a win-win situation for the corporations as they reduce the voice of the majority and uphold their company image. The monetary power and strategic lawsuit strategy corporations hold creates an imbalance between the people's needs and what the corporations want, reducing America's by the people, for the people ideals. By letting corporations silence the public, less of the people's voice is heard, limiting American democracy. Therefore, because SLAPP lawsuits remove the voice of the people, Americans need to speak up to make more people aware of SLAPP lawsuits and push all states to pass anti-SLAPP laws. So an example of these SLAPP lawsuits in real life occurred with John Oliver with HBO when he spoke out against Bob Murray in the coal industry during one of his episodes. Murray filed a lawsuit against John Oliver and his production, suing them for attacking him in a way that he had no opportunity to defend himself, harassment, and crude language. Once Murray sued Oliver, he ended up dropping the lawsuit, but not until after he wasted Oliver's team's time, resources, and money. If Oliver wasn't backed up by HBO, the fallout and the money drained would have been a huge setback, and he probably would have been forced to actually recede his opposition. By following through with suing Oliver, Murray also succeeded in silencing other critics who have a negative view on his company. Many other companies who are much smaller than John Oliver's production team would have been forced to retreat from their opposition due to the fees of buying lawyers and other necessities needed when preparing for court. There was very little SLAPP lawsuits by other small critics who could actually be vocal about their experience. They can't afford that type of risk of being sued yet again. These other critics were actually forced to also abandon their opposition, and they couldn't speak out about their experiences due to the great money they lost, the lack of resources that they have in their possession. So even though Murray didn't succeed in silencing John Oliver, many other large companies who are using these methods are actually succeeding in silencing the critics. So this needs to be stopped. There needs to be a greater push for more anti-SLAPP laws in the states. Only 30 of the 50 states have any anti-SLAPP laws, causing many critics to still be silenced. By establishing anti-SLAPP laws, the targets of the SLAPP lawsuits are able to seek a ruling within 60 days. This cuts the time and money spent substantially. Through having these laws put in place, the large, wealthy corporations aren't able to draw out the lawsuit for as long as they want, causing less money, stress, and time to be spent on the ruling. By pushing for more anti-SLAPP laws in the states, by protesting, speaking out, and spreading awareness, there will be an increase in democracy, and corporations will have less power over the critics. An increase in democracy is a decrease in inequality, making America a greater nation that values the American people's needs. So push for anti-SLAPP lawsuits today, protest, speak out, spread awareness. We got this, America. You can do it.